Welcome to the Michigan Football Junkies podcast. I'm Jeremy Miller, and I'm joined with my good friend Marcus Denton. He is a true Michigan guy, loves football, loves Michigan football.
Yes, I
Welcome,
do.
John, Marcus Denton.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. Yes, I do. I am a huge Michigan football fan. I love talking football with you. It's always been a great time doing that. And what better way now to be able to do it and share it with the public? That's pretty cool, man. It's a good
Yeah.
deal.
You know me, you and I can talk Michigan football all day long, but we're gonna have to keep
All
it a
day.
little shorter for a podcast, right? Because we could go
Yes.
hours.
Hours. It's not even a question.
Well, we're going to run
Yes,
through a little
yes.
bit of news here real quick. We're just going to go, we're going to blitz through it, and then we're going to talk about these recruits coming in for this upcoming season. So,
Okay.
Harbaugh's contract extension, they're in the works for it right now.
Right.
Luckily, there was a little heated battle between Jim Harbaugh and Ward Manuel, between just one feels they should be grateful, the other one feels the other one should be
Mm-hmm.
grateful.
Yeah.
And luckily, cooler heads prevailed with Mr. Santa Ono.
Okay, people, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m., Santa's coming to town.
Santa! Oh my God! Santa here? I know him. I know him.
The people who don't know, that is the president of University of Michigan now, after
Yes.
the Mary Sue Coleman was the interim, and then they hired Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Santa, and people love him already. He listens to students,
Yes, he
and he
does.
understands that athletics are important. In the past, it seemed like they didn't care. They couldn't have cared less about
Mm-hmm.
athletics many times, as far as
Right.
the presidents and such for Michigan.
Right.
So
Right.
luckily, Santa stepped in. Cooler heads have prevailed. They're going to get it done. From what I've heard, it could be as soon as Saturday. Friday or
Okay.
Saturday
Okay.
is how soon it could be. That's
Right.
not
Right.
guaranteed. It's a slow process. There is a negotiation. One side
Mm-hmm.
asks for something, the other side asks for something. And so
Exactly.
don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Over to the investigation real quick. Dan Wetzel put out an article today, talked about,
Right.
he put a few things out there. One of them is Harbaugh is not expected to back down and would likely mount a ferocious defense against any allegation that he purposely lied. That is something
Exactly.
that has been about Jim Harbaugh's. Jim Harbaugh is his. You can't find a time where he has publicly been dishonest about anything. And you can find that with
Exactly.
coach speak a million times where they've said one thing and done another. Harbaugh's never done that. You can never find a single thing. And in that article, it also talked about the fact that Harbaugh will not accept any sort of punishment if it includes him admitting that he lied about something, because he doesn't believe that he did. And
I.
there's some more things that are coming out about that. I
Right.
I, I
Right.
am going to get into I am going to get some more details on it, because
Mm-hmm.
there is one thing out there talking about that he just didn't pay it the respect that the NCAA thought he should, and
Exactly.
that's where the whole thing came about, and that they were just pissed off that he basically barked back at him. But we'll find out a little bit more about that in the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Weiss, the
Yeah.
same kind of thing. It sounds like it came from some sort of emails on December 21st through the 23rd. That was during the early
Right.
signing period.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
so hopefully this all shakes out. Matt Weiss gets to
Mm-hmm.
keep his job. If not, hey, we'll maybe on the next podcast we'll have a more details. We'll be able to share those,
Yes.
and we can
Yes.
talk about potential replacements, and if that comes to that. But
Yeah.
until then, let's be positive. We'll skip over to the upcoming recruits that are going to be coming onto campus. Some of them already have been
Mm-hmm.
on campus because they're
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
enrollees. Marcus,
Yeah.
who would you like to start off with?
Well, you know what? I tell you, the one thing that has really caught me, and I think we spoke about this a little earlier, is the kicker. I mean, it's like Michigan has had, in my opinion, the best kicker in Michigan football history. And then a young man who has just been such, a savior, actually, if you think about it. I mean, first, if we go back to the Illinois game, and that kick saved our season, so to speak. So, yeah, I like to start with Adam. Sure.
Maha. Yeah,
Yes,
I
Samaha.
love him. He's got a big
Yes.
leg.
Oh my gosh, the big leg. I like his attitude. First off, he's a local kid. He's right there from Ypsilanti, Michigan. Went to Huron High. So I mean, he kind of knows, and plus, too, his mom works at the University of Michigan, so he kind of knows the lay of the land, so to speak. But yeah, I mean, 5'11", man, 170 pounds. This kid, freaking, he's a monster. The number one kicker in the state of Michigan. What can I say? He hit 11 or 14 field goals, which is awesome. School record 49-yarder, which it's big time for a high schooler to do that. So that's
Hmm.
pretty impressive. Making 37 of 37 extra points, very difficult to do even for upperclassmen. This guy, he's big time, and I believe he'll probably go into the spring fighting for that number one spot, that number one job there.
I imagine he could. Now the only problem with Adam is I believe he's not an early enrollee, so he's going
No,
to
he's
have a
not.
tough hill to climb.
Right.
They do have some other kickers there, but I think Adam is going to be at least a 3-year kicker for us. I mean, who
Oh
knows?
yeah.
Maybe he redshirts, maybe he's a 4-year kicker for us. But with Jay Harbaugh manning that special teams job, I
Yes.
mean, it's just got better and better since he has taken that over years back.
Yes. Yes, it has. We haven't always had the best of luck with our kickers. We've had a few that hit and misses there, but yeah, we've been pretty blessed these past few seasons. So, hopefully we
Absolutely,
can keep that going.
Money Moody. I'll be rooting for him in the NFL for
Oh
years.
my God, yes. Oh yes. Oh heck
I'm
yeah.
going to kick it over to another Michigan kid, and that is
Okay.
Mr. Cole Cabana.
Oh
He's
my
a running
gosh.
back slash slot. He's 6 foot, 190 pounds. He
Hmm.
has a 40-yard dash of 4.34, and there's been a lot of pushback on what does he actually run, and so many
Hmm.
people think he isn't a legit 4.3 guy. This is
Right.
he is a track guy. He ran the 60-meter dash in 6.82. That's
Oh my God.
that can't be disputed. These are and
No.
it's crazy. If you go onto YouTube and look at some of his videos, half
Right.
of the Michigan guys Michigan fans are saying he's not that fast. He 100% is.
Oh yeah,
He is
definitely.
dynamic.
He jumps off the page to you. I mean, the fact of all purpose. I mean, can we just say that our running backs, we've been blessed with a great running back room. I mean, everything that we have coming back and throwing him in there is all purpose. I mean, what can he do? Return kicks, Mr. Slot. I mean, everything. I mean, heck, he returned what, a few kicks for 429 yards, 3 touchdowns on returns, receiving 4 touchdowns and receiving 273 yards. Heck, he ran for 1,600 yards, man, 23 touchdowns. I mean, he's all world to me. And yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, he's over 2,400 all-purpose yards, 36
Yes,
touchdowns as a senior. Now,
yes.
here's the interesting thing. Cole is obviously, he's blessed with speed. He can
Mm-hmm.
run. He has great feet. Now, the things that he doesn't have the greatest power right now. He's not a
Right,
big
right.
power back.
No, he's
I'm
not.
curious, what do you think? I think this year is going to be very telling for Cole's future at Michigan. And what I mean by that is this: how they use Donovan Edwards this
Mm-hmm.
season is, I think, going to be the blueprint for what they do with Cole. Cole's
Oh,
not,
yeah.
he's not a 25 carry guy, at least not right now.
No, he's not.
You give him 2 years to bulk up under Herbert,
Mm-hmm.
and he keep his speed, maybe then. But
Yeah.
if not, let's say he never is a 210 pound, 220 pound back. Let's say he never
Mm-hmm.
gets there. He can still be a 10, 12 carry guy while getting 5, 6 receptions out of the slot.
Oh,
You
of
know, look at
course.
what Dallas did this year with Tony Pollard.
Exactly. It's like what you're saying basically goes in touch what Michigan has been recruiting. They've been recruiting those guys that can do more than one thing, so to speak. And yeah, he fits right in there for his slot. I mean, he's not a little guy, but yeah, he gets into that weight room and get a little bigger. He's going to be, I think, he's going to be a very good player. I definitely see him seeing the field as a freshman. I could be wrong, but the fact that Coach Harbaugh loves to play these young guys, he loves to give these young guys a shot. And him being an early enrollee, he was down with the team for the college football playoffs. He practiced with those guys, so he already has gotten his feet wet, so to speak, of his expectations. But yeah, we can't put too much on him. But I do believe he'll probably see the field as a freshman. I believe that.
Tell me what you think about Mr. Amir Herring.
Well, the first thing always to me, this guy, he's a big character guy. He's a great player that I think is going to fit very well into what Michigan does. They tend to recruit the guys that fit the mold of what they're trying to do. So I believe that he's going to add a lot of depth to the position. I think he's going to be one of those guys that, again, I keep using that word, jump off the page, but I don't want to keep saying that word. But yeah, he's another guy that does that for me.
I like Amir, just so everybody knows, Amir, he's a guard. He's 6'4", 295.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Yes.
interior lineman. He could
Yes.
play center. I think it's unlikely. I think he's going to probably just play guard. Now, the thing I
Mm-hmm.
like about Amir is for such a big guy, he's light on his feet. And everybody's seen the way Michigan runs the ball. We are constantly pulling guards, tackles, tight ends, wide receivers. It doesn't matter. Hey, can you be pulled? You're probably gonna block somebody. So
Mm-hmm.
Amir, that's a big thing to have a guard who can move fairly easily with that type of weight because you want to be able to get outside of that. You want to be able to get to where you need to be able to put the block on so that way
Mm-hmm.
whether it's JJ running the ball, Blake, Donovan,
Right.
whoever, they can
Right.
get out there in front and put a hat on a man.
Mm-hmm.
So his athleticism really shows off. I think he's got pretty good hands, which everybody
Yes.
knows. You want to play offensive line, you better have quick, precise hands to
Mm-hmm.
strike that defensive lineman trying to rush in.
Mm-hmm.
You want to strike
Yeah.
his shoulder pads, knock him off his
Yeah.
line.
Good feet. Great
Oh yeah.
feet. I mean, I think that's one of the big things, and it goes back to just having that. He's a space eater, man. He could definitely move some furniture if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
He's a yeah. So,
And
man,
he
another
really
great prospect.
you see if you watch his highlights, which anybody who like wants to see any of these highlights, go check out Football Junkies on YouTube. I
Mm-hmm.
have all the highlights for every single one of the recruits
Yep.
up there, so you can watch the
Yes.
whole thing on one playlist.
Mm-hmm.
Amir, if you watch some of he's got good strength, but his feet, like you said, they're so good. At one of the plays, he literally cuts behind the offensive line and
Mm-hmm.
cuts up into the hole like a running back to
Yeah.
catch his man before the running back gets to that hole. So that way he makes sure he seals it so running back can maximize his yards. Well,
Oh my gosh.
next up, we have the number one player in the entire country has committed to Michigan Wolverines. Now that country happens to be France, but hey, it's still good to say, right?
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Yes, it is.
that's Imir Kumba. Now he's an edge player, 6'6",
Mm-hmm.
230 pounds. But here's the cool part about Imir. He
Mm-hmm.
has a 7'1" wingspan.
Oh my
We were
gosh.
just
Yes.
talking about offensive linemen being able to have
Mm-hmm.
quick, precise hands. What do they want to do? They
Yeah.
want to get their hands on you
Yes,
and
they do.
control you. Well, Imeric has
Yes.
longer arms than most offensive linemen, so he can
Mm-hmm.
keep that offensive lineman off of his body because
Yes. Yes.
a 266, 200, let's say he even gains another 20 pounds because he's going to
Right.
bulk up, right?
Mm-hmm.
250 pounds, 6'6". a 330-pound tackle is probably going to manhandle him, don't you think? If
Oh,
it was just
definitely.
one-on-one, they're in a phone
Yeah.
booth. That kind of thing, that excites me.
Hmm. Well, it's just another sign, another show that, Michigan, they go after the recruits from different countries. I mean, we had so many. I mean, come on, we had David Ojabo, Quiddy Pay. I mean, we had some guys come from other places and find great success at the University of Michigan. And I believe this young man is going to be another staple to that. He's going to be another guy that's going to be, again, high character. He's going to be a guy that's going to be able to jump in and really and play well early. I believe so.
That's the thing is, how many guys are pulling somebody from Europe? How
Hmm.
many teams are pulling somebody from Europe? It's very few. But the nice thing is, Imeric has been working with several people to try and
Hmm.
improve on his skills. God, who is it? It's Brandon Collier, I believe, is the guy who runs like a recruiting for all of the Europe guys. He's not playing competition like Georgia 5A football, but
Right, right.
he's doing exactly what you're supposed to do with that type of
Hmm.
competition that he's playing over there. He's dominating them on both sides of
Oh
the
yeah.
ball. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
you could actually
Yes.
see Imeric play tight end if he struggled at edge and couldn't
Hmm.
get it. I mean,
Oh
a
yeah.
6'6" guy who can run and has long arms. I'm pretty sure JJ or any other quarterback would be just fine with that. What do you think?
Oh my goodness. Of course. I mean, he's an athlete, and that's the thing. He's a physical specimen. I mean, like you said earlier, how many guys with that type of wingspan, that type of movement, that size, that can move like that? I mean, that's just a he's a freak. And we're very fortunate to have him. It's awesome, man. I mean, I think that as we go forward and really look at these recruits that we're going to be talking about in the future and even today, that these guys, we don't have a whole lot of 5-star guys, but the development that we do, we develop guys to be great. We have
Absolutely.
the diamonds in the rough, and we develop them. And next thing you know, man, they're first round picks. They're solid NFL guys, and that's just a great. So this guy here, he's going to develop very well. I have no doubt he's going to be another one of those space eaters, man, that we're going to be talking about for a few years to come.
And he has good hands. I mean, you're talking about a
Hmm.
guy who, like I was saying, he's playing tight end. He's split out.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
how many times did you see it with David Ojabo or Jalen
yes,
Harrell, Aiden Hutchinson, all these different
right,
guys?
right.
How many they have to step back sometimes in coverage.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
Braden McGregor nearly picked off 2 different passes in the Ohio State game. You know what?
Yes, yes.
If Imeric was in there and made the same exact play, maybe he takes it. He's an inch or two taller and his arms are
Hmm.
longer.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
he played he was a receiver. So he
Hmm.
catches the ball pretty well. So
Right.
I'm pretty excited about him. I think Imeric, he's probably going to take a couple years, but he
Hmm.
is also the one person we probably know the least about because
Right.
he has been living in France.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh. So your opinion? So does he get red shirt? What do you think?
Uh,
Or really?
this year I would almost guarantee he gets redshirted this year. I mean, the fact that we
Okay.
have Braden McGregor, we still have
Hmm.
Jalen Harrell, not to
Yeah.
mention, the fact we have Derek Moore coming up. We have
Hmm.
TJ Guy. We have some other guys there. So I think our two deep will be just fine.
Yes. Yes.
And Imeric is probably gonna need at least a year, but it really depends
Hmm.
on how fast he picks up on stuff because
Hmm.
we do have some veterans ahead of him, and they're also going to help with the coaching aspect because
Right. Right.
that's what good teams do.
Exactly.
The next up, we have another backwards James. That's Samaj Bridgman.
Hmm.
Yep, he's a linebacker. He's 6'2", 225, and he was a linebacker, the middle linebacker for his high school that only allowed 7.3 points per game.
Wow.
Had
Yes.
4 shutouts in a row.
Hmm.
I mean, Samaj is the epitome of a middle linebacker.
Yes, he
He's
is.
thick, he's strong, and he strikes.
Hmm.
He has good size and speed for a linebacker, but it's his instincts and vision that I'm the most
Yes.
excited about. You see him kind of
Yes.
glide through blockers, he'll
Hmm.
track down a ball carrier,
Yeah.
and he has really good technique. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Ray Lewis when he was in high school, style wise. Before anybody
Yes.
freaks out and they're like, he said we're getting Ray Lewis. No, style wise.
Yes.
But
Yes.
he
Big
does something
personality.
that I love though. How many times have you seen a guy and he doesn't wrap up real well?
Hmm. Yes.
You've seen it 1,000 times, right?
Yes. All over it. Definitely.
Samaj,
Definitely.
when he's tackling somebody from behind, there's a guy that's cutting out towards the sideline, he's tracking him
Hmm.
down.
Hmm.
He almost looks like he's doing the breaststroke. He comes up and you see his arms come out wide and like
Yes.
he's just getting ready to attack. It's like a pit bull coming up, just getting ready to just maul somebody.
Yeah, he has great
Bridgman,
vision.
oh yeah.
Great field vision, definitely. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, how many times did you see it where they're running a counter and half the team goes the way of the counter? The
Hmm.
running back cuts up, and you see him just knife through a couple defenders and blocks, and
Yeah.
just I found him. He's right here. Don't worry, guys.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
got him.
Oh my gosh. You hear about that. You hear that term running downfield,
Hmm.
and you're just running downfield, and he's that type of guy, man. He's like a freaking bullet. And I'm excited. I'm another recruit again. I'm excited. And I apologize early for me saying exciting, say the word exciting so much excited, but I just am. I mean, he's another he's another guy that's just gonna come and just really just wreck havoc like big time.
Oh yeah, and I can actually see we don't run a lot of blitzes from our middle linebackers, but I think we need to do that more. That's one thing Samaj is really good at blitzing. He anticipates the snap of the ball during a
Yes,
blitz.
yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Next up, we have Mr. Carmelo English. He was a early signing day flip. Now, I know you're big on him, Marcus. Why don't you tell us a little bit
Yes.
about Carmelo?
I tell you, I will say this, Carmelo English. First off, can we get some kudos for us going down there and going into that big bad SEC country? It's we've able to sneak in there and get a good one here in Carmelo English. I mean, the young man is over 6 foot, 180 plus pounds, a 4-star kid. I mean, oh my gosh, he has the ability to really go get it. I mean, first going up and catching the ball at the high point, which I do like. I'm hearing that he runs a 4.43. That's what that's what
I
I've been
couldn't
told.
find I couldn't find any numbers on him as far as
Yes.
40 wise, but
Yeah, I was able.
just guessing
I,
off of what I saw on film, I thought he was like a
yeah,
4.4.
yeah.
But
Well, he had a senior season. He had a better junior year, of course.
yeah,
850 yards received in this past season, 11 touchdowns. Caught 70 balls, which is still impressive. I mean, he's gonna another young man is gonna get in that weight room there and bulk up a bit. But I mean, what's not to like about this guy? He fits the mold of what we have. For as Ronnie Bill type guy that can go in there and just really be a knife, really be just a knife to go in there and just slice stuff up. I mean, I'm very impressed by him, definitely.
I mean, Carmelo to me, if you could describe him in a single word, I would say he's smooth. I mean,
Yeah.
everything, it's almost like he's just gliding out there.
Yes.
The way he runs his route, or if he gets the
Hmm.
ball and he starts to try and make a move, because
Yeah.
he carries the ball every now and then. He's not like a running back or anything, but he's had some carries, and I mean the guy just he doesn't have a wasted movement. And
Hmm.
if you look at the catch on the sideline, go to the 4 minute and 20-second mark of the highlights on his senior highlights on Football Junkies,
Hmm.
and that's before anybody says no, it's 420 is not for that. That's just it just happens to be the time on the video,
Yes.
okay?
Definitely
But
want to clear that up.
I mean, the other thing is and I saw him in some camps, and the one thing I didn't like about Carmelo, and I didn't see him do this in the game, so maybe it's just a camp thing, was he got real choppy off the line. He's chopping his feet really hard, and he's not
Hmm.
really going anywhere. So it's
Right.
just kind of a wasted movement if you're not doing anything, there off the line. If you fake on the inside and you cut back to the outside while you're
Right.
chopping, okay, I get it, but he wasn't really doing a whole lot. But he does have really good hands. I think if Carmelo was 6'3", there's a good shot he might have a 5 star. He might have a
Oh
fifth
my
star.
gosh. Oh, yeah, definitely. I, I'm really surprised that we were actually able to get him out of the SEC. Normally we have a young man with this type of talent, he automatically like book signed, definitely going to Alabama. It's like we'll take him. That's what it is. But for us to be able to go in and then do a little flip there, I think at the end, I think that was pretty cool. That just shows the growth of what our team is doing and where we're going. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Jason Hewlett
Oh
is
man.
the next man up. He is an athlete out of Ohio, 6 foot
Mm-hmm.
3, 215 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Several have him listed at 6'4", 220. I'm told
Yes.
he's actually under that, but the only listed weight on the Michigan site is
Mm-hmm.
250 pounds. Others that have seen him in person say he's closer to 200 to 210. So
Right.
this is a guy who is going to have to add some weight. I think he's going to play linebacker. Other people
Mm-hmm.
have said, "Oh, he could play safety, he could play
Right.
edge." He's played wide receiver. I mean, he has
Mm-hmm.
literally played all over the field,
Oh,
including
of course.
returning punts.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
with his speed, that's I think his biggest attribute, his speed and
Mm-hmm.
his tenacity. I mean, this guy, I his change of direction. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, this is the type of speed that Devin Bush had. And I hate saying that, you know, bringing up names
That is.
sometimes because I think people go crazy over like, oh, he's Devin Bush. Not what I said. He's he
Yeah.
is he's got Devin Bush type speed. Combine that with a guy who has soft hands because he's played
Mm-hmm.
receiver
Yes.
and he's probably going to add 20 pounds. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're talking about a
Exactly.
guy who could float between middle and maybe even have some edge time, right?
Right, right. Oh my gosh. I mean, even the putting that, like you said before, the putting that even mentioned with that Devin Bush type speed. We remember that. And just it's just again adding to the a crop of players that we have, man. It's just like if you look at this list, it's just really like mind blowing how underrated this recruiting class is.
Yeah.
You know, I
Brooks Barr is another one that, we picked up. I interviewed him last year. What a great kid.
mhm,
He's enormous though. He's a defensive tackle, 6'6",
right.
280 pounds.
Hmm.
Kinda just he's just really, really strong. Now, the one thing he's gonna need to do is be able to sink down a little bit more because Brooks is
Hmm.
obviously tall. And
Right.
so many different times you see him standing up, almost standing up tall, and he's still
Hmm.
using his strength to win,
Right.
even though he doesn't have the leverage.
Right.
What's he
Right.
gonna do if he was able to play lower and he's still gonna get stronger? Because
Hmm.
Brooks, last year when I interviewed him, there was a possibility he could be a stand-up end, a la Mike Morris, because he was
Right.
6'6",
Right.
260 at the time. Well,
Right.
with his foot speed, I don't know what you
Hmm.
think. I think his foot speed, I think he doesn't have it. There's no chance. I think it's just D tackle or bust. What do you think?
Well, you know what? You're spot on with that. I do believe that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the foot speed is not that great. It's something that he, of course, with the proper conditioning, he could possibly improve on, but not to the point where, we would see him in that different role. I think that developing him is going to be, I think it's going to be something that I don't think it's going to be a long process, so to speak, only because when you get him in, you know already what you have. And it's sort of not really knowing, but you kind of got an idea. Like when these kids come in, you kind of got an idea like what they're going to do and what they're going to grade out to. So yeah, I mean, I believe that. I think he's gonna be a good defensive player. Definitely,
I think he
he's
could
gonna have
anchor
his
that
role.
those down defensive linemen because we usually only put two, but sometimes there's a third one if there's a an obvious
Hmm.
rundown. But I could
Right.
see him playing in the center of that, playing like nose tackle,
Hmm.
having Grant on one side and him on the other. I mean, who's going to run through that? That's a lot of beef there. And you
Oh,
know
it's a
what?
whole lot of beef, my friend.
With as strong as he is, and with
Hmm.
his height and arm length, I mean, he's almost a prototypical size for a left or right tackle. But
Hmm.
he's coming as defensive tackle. Let's see where he goes. And I
Yes.
apologize if I'm speeding through these a little bit. We're kind of running out of time a little bit. But Breon Ishmael, I mean, this is
Hmm.
another guy out of Ohio. I think his might be the biggest sleeper in Michigan's 2023 recruiting class.
Hmm.
He, I think Breon could be a monster with his skill set. You're talking about a guy who's 6'4", maybe 6'5",
Hmm.
225 pounds. He has a great burst. He's got good length, but he's got good speed all over the place.
Hmm.
He's played offense, played defense. I even saw a touchdown last year where he was on the local news where he was playing wide receiver. It got thrown up to him in the end zone, and he mossed two defensive backs in the end zone, coming
You
down
gotta
over
love
top
it.
of both of them, just looking at him like, "That's all you got."
Hmm. The attitude, man, it's great. Oh my gosh, it's pretty cool.
Marcus, thank you so much for coming on. I do apologize. We had to go back through and edit this. We we ran out of time. I'll do a better job, make sure that this doesn't happen again. But next time we'll have some more recruits. Probably next week we have 3 different segments. That way it wasn't running too long. And as always,
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine.